So hello everyone. Once again, welcome to Soft Mania Splunk Development Advanced course. So this session is going to be a demo one. So as many people asked you, like before joining the session, you would like to have a taste of it. So that's why we made this session as a demo one. And feel free to ask your questions or interact as much as possible so that you will know what is going to happen in Splunk course for the next 2 months. So this is going to be a repeated batch, like every 1 or 2 months, like the batch will be continued. So today I'll give you overview and we'll start the first session, first topic, and this is going to be a base for the next 2 months or 1.5 months, whatever, however time, how much ever time it takes, right? So before we start the session, anybody has any question in general, not the technical side? Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so first let's understand the agenda, right? First, today's agenda is we'll see what are the prerequisite for a Splunk development, right? Before you start learning Splunk development, what are the things you should know? Of course, there are many places, or even I said in the past that you don't need any prerequisite to learn Splunk development, but not exactly. See, if you just want to start Splunk, yeah, you don't need any prerequisite. You can just go ahead and start. But if you want to master it and if you want to become an expert, there are a lot of prerequisites you have to learn before learning Splunk. But yeah, those are not the high level ones, the basic level ones. We'll discuss what are the prerequisites you should know, and then project overview and introduction. So this training is going to be a project based training. So meaning every topic in Splunk, we will relate it to one single project so that you will understand how all the topics in Splunk development relates to the real-time project. So we will give you the fiction, we will explain the fictional project and what is the requirement, what are we going to do. So everything we'll discuss. And then day-to-day responsibilities of Splunk developer in the project. Yeah, of course, like in some companies, there is no separation between Splunk developer admin. So only one person has to do everything. But in a bigger organizations, right? So there is a admin separate, developer separate. So we will discuss like how an admin and developer like contributing to a single project on a high level, right? And then difference between structured data and unstructured data. This is one of the key concept as a Splunk developer you should know, because you are the one who's going to make all these conversion everything. So that we will discuss. And next one is the process of converting raw data into knowledge. So the last line, this is the one which you will be working completely, because this is what your complete responsibility. In one liner, if someone wants to say, as a Splunk developer, you are converting raw data into knowledge, right? So what is it? How does it relate to your day-to-day work? We will discuss that. Okay. Any questions on the agenda? Good. Thank you. Thank you for the information. Nice. Okay. First, I mean, just want to break want the icebreaker session. Anybody wants to share your past experience in Splunk? I mean, you don't need to share your personal information. Just like, are you just starting this Splunk? Are you, or have you already learned? Are you in the middle? Are you already a pro expert? So anybody wants to share your experience, or what are you looking for from this session or course? Starting. Okay. I think Mahanta Patel. I think I'm pronouncing your name correct. Okay, you are starting Splunk. Okay, that is good. And I see some of you people like they already know, so who are already working on Splunk. This is good. And there are few people who I'm seeing newly. So hope you are starting Splunk or you're already Splunk. Okay, fine. I mean, yeah, I can understand. So let's proceed. Maybe I can give my introduction. So I have 8 years experience in Splunk admin and development. So I've worked in like 12 different projects, like as an individual contributor or as a team member. So my expertise lies in architect and custom dashboarding. So when it comes to Splunk, it has some inbuilt dashboards. But if you want to extend, so I'll be the person who can help you with extending the capabilities. I know how to build the default native dashboards as well, along with that custom dashboards. That is where my expertise lied, and then now I transition into Splunk trainer profile. That is where I'm just talking a lot. Good. So then let's go to the actual content, right? So what are the prerequisites to learn Splunk development? Any idea? Yeah, okay, I understand. So before you learn Splunk, right? Before you learn Splunk development, especially, you have to learn some basics of HTML. So this is basics of complete IT. I know, like maybe in the beginning days we learned something, but we left it. But it is good for you to brush up the basic HTML concepts and basics of Python. Little bit of Python. This is must, because once you go, not on the early days of learning Splunk development, but at some point of time you need basics of Python, because all the add-ons and all the code, everything is written in Python, mostly written in Python. So it will be good. You don't need to be master at Python, but you just need to understand. If someone is giving the code already, you just need to know what they are doing and everything, just a basic level of knowledge. And configuration file, I see many attendees or many learners don't know what is configuration file is. I know you can just say like, okay, configuration file is something where we configure. Yeah, I understand, but you need to know the structure and you need to know the key value properties and basics of configuration file. Let's say if you have two different configuration file, how to merge it. These are all the concepts outside of Splunk, which is common for other tools as well. So you need to know what is configuration file, basics of configuration file. And then Git. Git is a version control system. So every company use a different tools like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. But end of the day, as a Splunk developer, you should know version control system. Why? Because you are going to be developing like multiple configurations. You are going to be developing multiple dashboards and everything, right? So you need to know how to use a Git. Then only you can maintain a version control system. And if you are a Splunk developer, if you are joining a company where they are not using a version control system, it is your responsibility to force them to use it. It's like, because they might not know that criticality. Why do we need a version control system for Splunk development? But as a Splunk developer, you will know. But if you are already not aware, like I'll explain in the future, like we are going to use that as well in the project. And the next one, last but not least, Linux. So I see many people struggling, like in the past, learn teaching sessions and all. I've seen like many people struggling with basic Linux command. Like because sometimes you need to go and edit the configuration files, restart Splunk, or debug something. So for those, basic Linux commands are necessary. And along with that, you have to learn the basic IT terminologies, like what is protocol, what is data transfer, what is development, what is meant by environment, what is meant by memory, application. So these are all some basic IT terms. See, I'm not insulting anyone. What I'm telling is, before you go all the way to learn Splunk development, right? If you learn all these terminologies, all these concepts, it will be very easy for you to adapt. So there are list of around 100 IT terminologies which will be uploaded in your portal, where you can go and see. I mean, where you can see, like I have been talking too many things, right? So if you want to learn, don't just Google and just go ahead and basics of HTML, basics of Python. If you go there, you will lose your mind. So, but in each concept, right, in HTML, what are the concepts you have to learn? Python, Git, Linux. So everything we have consolidated and we have added into our portal, the course portal. If you open our course portal, if you open the development advanced course, so yeah, the first module has a basics of HTML. You can just learn these basic HTML tags. You don't need to learn anything different, because once if you know this one, so we explained the what is the structure, what is meant by tag, everything, what is meant by attribute. So tag, attribute, these things you need. Where do we use all these things? When we are going and editing the dashboard XML source code, right? There, when we are working in a dashboard, we will use this HTML tags. Of course it is a XML tags, but if you learn a HTML, it will be useful for you. Because when we are teaching you the dashboard development, I'll say change this attribute, add a tag. If you don't know what is tag and what is attribute, it will be difficult for you, right? So you need to learn, and you need to learn basics of JavaScript, just basic, just how to add a JavaScript. You don't need to be master at it. So that one also we have displayed here. You can go through. And basics of Python. In Python, what do you need to learn? Only these concepts, just how to install a Python, how to create a Python file, and how to write a basic script in Python, and how to install Python in your laptop. Yeah, how to create a variable, how to read and write using Python, and then how to make API request using Python, which is a request library. Mostly like 90% of the times, like request library will help you, because in my journey it helped me. And yeah, how to do the loop and conditional operators, and how to pass arguments to Python script, and that's it. These are enough. You don't need to learn anything else, anything extra. See, just to get started. But eventually, when you go, for far, right, you will learn more in Python. But just to begin Splunk development, just only learn this one. It will take hardly like 2 to 3 hours maximum, I'm saying. And if our content is not enough, just copy this and paste it in ChatGPT. It will give a little bit detail, because we don't want to give detailed things, else it will become a Python class here. So, and also like IT terminology side, even in IT terminologies, there are few terminologies which you have to know. Of course, there are like billions of terminologies which you cannot learn everything at a go, but there are few terminologies which you have to learn, like CPU, memory, disk, internet. This is the very basic things. Everyone feels like, okay, we already know. Trust me, like just 3 years back only I realized I did not know what is mean by CPU, memory, disk properly. I know, like I thought like, okay, CPU is a processor, memory is a RAM, and disk is a storage. Like if you ask you why, how, all these things we don't know. How it relates to Splunk, right? And those things we don't know. Here we just gave a brief, okay, just one liner, two liner, so that you can copy paste in ChatGPT, you can learn more. So trust me, for these kind of things, ChatGPT is very much useful. I mean, we don't want to teach what is the basic things, which is something we will leave it to you. It will take some time. And what is the difference between server and instance? What is the difference between network and internet? You have to learn the difference. Both are different. And server and instance, both are different. And what is an IP address? I mean, if you already know, that's fine. And what is a port? And what is meant by firewall? What is meant by router, switches, and how cloud computing works, right? That is, this is, it's not a theoretical thing we are asking. So it's a practically how it is working, how like there are regions, availability zone. So basic things, you don't need to be master at it. And what is meant by data transfer? How data transfer happens from one place to another place. For example, you are uploading some file from your laptop to Google Drive, right? So when you are uploading, how the data is getting transferred? Is it broken into pieces, or it's getting transferred as a single file? So this concept is very much important when you learn Splunk. Okay, the same concept is applied on the universal forwarder to indexer. Whatever you are however you are uploading file from your laptop to Google Drive, right? The same concept is applied in the Splunk as well. Try to learn that. And what is meant by network bandwidth? What is meant by timestamp and time zone? Trust me, many people did not know that Splunk uses a time zone property many times. Like they realized very later point of time. I was one of the person. For first 3 years of my journey, I did not even use this time zone property. And on the third year, I had an admin job, and when I landed into admin handling like the data onboarding, that is when I realized, okay, there is something called time zone property that we need to use to normalize the complete global data. And what is meant by NTP protocol? So these are all the basic terminologies which I strongly suggest you to learn before learning Splunk development. Because when during the Splunk development, we'll be using all these terms. If you don't know what each term is, then you will not get what we are talking. Okay. And yeah, basics of configuration files, and what does mean by configuration file, how it works, and like how to create a basic configuration file, what is the structure of it. So if you in a single configuration file, the what is meant by section name and key value, and another section name, key value. So this is how it will be, and it will explain. So in Splunk applications, we are going to use a lot of configuration files. But you need to know what is meant by configuration in general. Configuration file concept is not only related to Splunk, it's a general concept. Any tool you take, every tool will have a configuration file. So you need to know what is configuration file first. Then once you have that known, then in Splunk, when I'm talking, can you please open this configuration file and add this property? I don't need to say put a square bracket. And see, why I'm telling is like this is what the things we have learned in the past. Many we saw in many learners, and then we realized, okay, they are not lacking Splunk development skills, they lack the basic concepts. So that's why we are putting everything at the beginning of this one, so that you can prepare before actual Splunk classes starts. And what are the basic Linux commands you have to learn? Yeah, simple one: how to connect to the server from your laptop to server, and how to switch as a different user, and how to navigate through folders, and how to do any file operations like create, re-edit, rename, copy, delete, move, everything, right? So these are the basic commands. you will use multiple times, billions of times in in your work. So but just the beginning, you just learn all these things, you have it as a reference. And how to change a folder ownership, how to copy file from your laptop to remote server, and how to copy file from your server to laptop. And yeah, how to tar a file, like how to zip a file. Like in our laptop we are zipping the files, right? And how to zip that, how to check the OS version, how to check the disk space, because this will help you in a troubleshooting a lot of time. Because as a developer we'll tend to break the system, right? So if we need to know how much disk space is remaining in your laptop, you can go and check it in your disk space. But in your Linux you need to check it using this command. And yeah, basics of Git, like how to create a repository, how to clone a repository, how to do it. So these are all things I would suggest you to learn. It's not mandatory, again I'm saying, whatever I said so far, it's a suggestion. Okay, because if you learn these concepts, it will be very easy for you to understand the Splunk development concepts and all. Okay, this is my suggestion. So yeah, any questions on this? I speak a lot, but yeah, any questions or any points? No. Okay, thumbs up, thank you. We have to install Python and Git, yeah, in your laptop. So you have to install Python and Git, because in your company you will use your laptop to develop few things, right? So if you are developing some scripts, then you have to run it locally to test it. Kalipan, you have a question? Okay, I think it's a mistake. That's fine. Yeah. So in your laptop, you have to install Python and Git version control system, and where you can interact with your company's centralized repository management system. Okay. Nice. Okay, Kalipan, if it is my mistake, I'm lowering the hand. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat if you want. Not able to talk. Oh, okay, good. Okay, so enough of basic stuff. So let's actually dive into our concepts today. Okay, so before we start the actual Splunk development topics, right? So I'd like to highlight like what project, as a fictional project, it is a fictional project. So because we need to relate all the Splunk development concepts to one single project, right? So first I'll introduce what is the project, what is the expectation. In, let's say you're joining a company, right? In that company, what is the project? Assume that you are joining Softmania company as a Splunk developer, and you're going to work on one project, right? And let's introduce our customer to you. It's a fictional customer. So it's a Mania bank. So they are the bank, one of the banking legend. Okay, they have headquarters in India, and assume that they have branches in 37 countries around the world, right? And they have a platform, mobile app, website, intranet, and internal portals, many things they are maintaining. Because as a bank, right, they will have many websites and things to maintain, everything, right? Because they have 37 countries, different branches. Think of it like that. And they have around 20 crore customers. Just assume that 20 crore customers are those many people are using their mobile apps and websites, right? And to support all those people, so this bank has a 10,000 web servers and 5,000 databases, 2,000 routers, switches, right? And 500 firewalls, and 5,000 employees, like to manage all those things. They have around 5,000 employees. Everybody has a dedicated laptops, right? So this is what their their company structure, and they have this much devices, right? So everything is good, right? They are making crores and crores of money, everything is good, awesome. But there is one big problem. So that company has that bank has a one big problem. What is it? A cyber attack, right? So as they have this much bigger things, and cyber attacks are usual, right? So if they want to prevent the cyber attacks, or if they want to monitor, right, what do they do? Like what a company does, they come up with the solutions, right? Because if it does a cyber attack, in not only this company, every company has this issue, and they are trying to, like, every company, they are trying to defend the cyber attacks day to day, like you hear in the news, right? So this bank also came up with the solution. security operation center that every company follows, and this company is also following the solution. They built a security operation center with a cyber security team, so they are trying to define the cyber attacks, right? But how do they defend? Because they have multiple servers around the world, like multiple web servers, whatever I told you, right? 10,000 web servers and 5,000 databases, 500 firewall, 2,000 network devices, and every employee has their own laptops. See, around like 20,000 devices, right? So as a single security operation team, as a single security operation center team, SOC team, they can't manage, they can't go and monitor each and every device in individually, right? So what do they do? How do they monitor? How do they monitor all of the devices? So that is where Splunk comes into picture. So Splunk can take data from all the tools and put it in a centralized location. So now it becomes easy for security operations center like SOC team to view all the logs in a centralized place. All right. So that is where a Splunk admin comes into picture. Splunk admin takes care of collecting the data, setting up the infrastructure. Splunk admin is the one who's setting up the infrastructure and who will collect the data from multiple tools, like be it 20,000 or lakhs and lakhs of servers and tools. Admin will be responsible for collecting the data, onboarding, troubleshooting, whatever you call, like day-to-day operations, right? Admin will be busy on that one, right? Admin, like every day it's their work, because like multiple admins, they will be working on a shifts and they will be doing everything. If admin is taking care of that one, what is the other part? See, say SOC team now got all the data into single place. Now as a Splunk developer, you need to help them to create a dashboards, reports, alerts, whatever, as a visual components, right? So as a Splunk developer, you are the responsible person to create all these visual knowledge actually. So all raw data, unstructured, everything is being placed in Splunk, right? One second, sorry. Right. So as a security operations team, cyber security team, or business analysts, they don't know Splunk queries because they are someone's like new. Or if you are a Splunk SOC analyst and now you're transitioning to Splunk developer, why? Because data is coming. As a Splunk admin, they are bringing the data and keeping everywhere. But as a Splunk developer, you should know how to write a queries. You should know how to write a dashboard. You should know how to write alerts, reports, so that the data, the centralized data, becomes a value to a company, right? So this is the responsibility of a developer in a project. So once the data is reached, developer has to make value out of it, convert raw data into knowledge. Sometimes they will work on the data onboarding as well, like because in some companies they say you are a Splunk developer, but they assume like you have to do everything. There is a common misconception, like if a Splunk developer means who develops the Splunk solution completely, like Python developer means they are developing complete Python things, right? So that is how many companies are assuming that Splunk developer means you are completely developing the Splunk. Actually no. From the curriculum point of view, even in the some MNCs, Splunk developer only takes care of creating a dashboard and managing the knowledge objects and creating reports, alerts, such as all those things, right? So that is the role of Splunk developer. Any questions or any doubts in this? Yes, no. Am I audible, Varsha? Okay, okay.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Just making sure. Okay. Anyways, so now you have understand the Charan. You have something.
Yeah, no, fine.
Okay, okay, good, thanks. Okay, so now this is where, as a Splunk developer, you fit in a project, right? So now you know learned what are the roles and responsibilities. Now you need to know, you need to start learning Splunk, right? You need to start learning Splunk development. Where do you start? It's a day one. You don't know anything in Splunk development. Maybe you are a Splunk admin or you are somebody from another a domain. You have to learn Splunk. What is the first concept you learn inside Splunk? So actually, there is another concept before you learn Splunk development. The first thing is, what is the difference between structured data and unstructured data? I mean, I know it's like everywhere structure means proper structure, unstructured means there is no proper structure. Yeah, Let's discuss it again. There is one question I want to ask you, so that you can think about it and you can go back and research and come back, right? This is what unstructured data and structured data looks like. Which one is structured data? Of course, the first one is structured data, and the second one is unstructured data. Why are we telling like this one is a structure and this one is unstructured? Yeah, if it has a proper structure, field name, field value, field name, field value. But here unstructured data, it doesn't have any field names, just as a some random text, right? I mean, as a human being, we can understand, okay, this is that, that is this. But as a computer, as a machine, it doesn't understand anything, right? So unstructured and structured data, just visibly we can see the difference, but how do we explain to computer, right? So that understands in a different way. But as a human being, first let's understand what is the difference between both of these. Okay, structure and structure, of course, proper structure, no proper structure, everybody knows, because it's self-explanatory. And structured data is easy to read, and unstructured data is very hard to read. I know that is also like everybody knows. And it is easy to analyze. Structured data is easy to analyze because it already has a predefined things. It's very well formatted. You don't need to break your head to map the interpretation, what I'm saying. Because here, if I want to understand what are these numbers, it's some random numbers. You don't know, right, what are those random numbers. You might take it in the wrong way. But here you see, it's just like exactly saying, okay, this means this is email ID, and this is schema name, and this is ID. So everything is clearly written. So it is easy for you to interpret the data. Okay, all these things anybody can say, right? So what am I going to ask? See, if you look at this one, unstructured data is very complex, very hard to read, and difficult to analyze. Everything is negative about unstructured data, right? Structured data has all the positive response. Then my question is, why not every tool is using structured data? So all of the components, right? Firewall, router, switches, everywhere. Why can't we implement structured data? Like why not, like a government is saying all the all the tools, all the software should use the structured data, structured login. Why some companies or why some softwares still printing out the unstructured data? Any reason? See, everybody knows, right? See, I'm not the genius to tell this one. Everybody knows unstructured data is very complex. Structured data is very easy, very neat and clean. Even sometimes, even like Apache, you can take Apache, Nginx, all those web servers. They are the legends. For so many years, they are there. They also know that structured data is very easy to read, but still they are printing their software logs as unstructured data. Why? Is it because they don't know how to implement a structured login? People, I request anyone to share this one, because this is the heart of the question I want to discuss in today's session. Any reason why still some companies are printing unstructured data? Hard for attacker to debug. That is actually a good answer. Seriously, actually it is like when attacker gets the unstructured data, right, as they don't as it doesn't have any thing, any proper format, it is hard for the attacker. But yeah, if attacker is smarter than uh, us, then yeah, then it happens. But this is one of the good reasons. Yes, any other reasons? There are few more reasons. I mean, I'll give you a hint. Yeah, please, Varsha, go ahead.
So, structured data, right? Creating structured data, it requires more processing power. So,
Right, yeah,
and like some of the components, the legacy components, right?
yeah,
It is made a lightweight thing. So we can say like
exactly,
syslog and all. It is a lightweight one, and just for the budget reason, right? They made it as with less processing power.
true.
So that is the reason those tools they are not able to make a structured data.
Exactly. So many tools, many advanced tools still prints unstructured data, still split out unstructured data. First one is, yes, budget constraint. See, if you want to make any software lightweight, right, you need to reduce the processing power as much as possible. See, take a universal forwarder, right? Universal forwarder is a very lightweight agent, right? Or any light agent. So those light softwares always prints unstructured data, because as Varsha said, so you don't need to structureize the data. Like when the software is trying to print the data, spit out the logs, right? It doesn't worry about like properly structuring it and adding. And one more thing, it requires more storage. If you want to store the same data, if you want to store the same information in unstructured format, let's say it is taking 10 MB, structured data might take 20 MB. As it has, see, every event will have field names in structured data, so it will occupy more storage. CPU, memory, disk, all three will be utilized more when you are creating the data. See, I'm not talking about the Splunk right now, I'm talking about from the data source point of view. Why they are still printing unstructured logs? This is the main reason. First one is there are some legacy systems which are very complex and they cannot rebuild it again, and it takes billions of dollars, and they don't want that. And second one is, yeah, the resource consumption. If you are creating any software, if you want to sprint the logs, if you want to reduce the processing power, if you want to make it lightweight, you have to go for unstructured data. And the third one, yeah, of course, what Shahrukh said. So it's like hard for attacker, even if someone gets the information, even we don't know what is the what all the information is available. Internal people, so external people don't know. So that is also one of the reason. So there, like this, there are many reasons. That's why still some companies or some softwares are printing unstructured data. Clear? Nice. That's the reason, because I've been breaking my head like, okay, if structured data is very good, then why are you guys printing unstructured data? Why are you guys torturing me to write a regex for each and everything? Then when I researched, then this is what I came up understood. Okay, it's like saving a billions of dollars, so that's why people are going for unstructured data. And if you want to parse and if you want to make some value out of it, yeah, you can again do the efforts. That will reduce the bigger cost spendings. Okay, any points or anyone wants to highlight or anyone wants to say anything regarding this topic? No? Okay, thank you. And yeah, so this is what first you need to know. Like now you understood like why the unstructured data exists, first of all. So now you know, right? Okay, there is no other way. There is no, even in the future also, you will never see a day where everywhere it's a structured data. So unstructured data will be there forever as long as it is saving the cost. As long as structured data has a complex structure to implement, then unstructured data will be there. So there is no other way. You can't skip learning how to convert unstructured data into structured data. So that process you have to know. As a developer, that is where you're working on the core logic, right? Okay, so now you learned the difference. Now you need to know the core logic or core concept, which is converting raw data into knowledge. This is what, as a developer, you are going to do every day. But yeah, you won't say it. You are converting raw data into knowledge. You will call it into different terms. But this is what the core. You are going to convert raw data into knowledge as a Splunk developer in one sentence, if you want to say. Okay, what is mean by that? What is mean by raw data getting converted into knowledge, right? Let's understand. Again, the same scenario, right? We have a environment where Splunk admin is getting the data, putting everything into a single place, like putting everything in a Splunk centralized place. In this one, see, there can be a different tools which gives you unstructured data. See, some may give structured data, some may give unstructured data. So they are taking all of them. Our admin, he will take all of them. They will take all of them and put it in Splunk, right? Now, as a developer, we, did someone say anything? No? Okay, good. So as a developer, we have multiple, responsibilities, right? What are the first few responsibilities? As a developer, you need to extract useful information from raw data. That is the step one, because you yourself need to know what is the data. You can think about your customer end user later. First, as a developer, you need to know what does that data mean, and you need to properly extract some useful information. Then only you can create a dashboard, alerts, other things later. So first thing is extract useful information, which is converting unstructured data into structured data. How can you convert the unstructured data into structured data? Is there any way? Is there any script or any process to convert unstructured data into structured data? That is the first activity. As a Splunk developer, you need to know how to convert unstructured data into structured data. Anybody done that?
We can do this using the field extraction.
Exactly.
We
So
can
that is where.
identify the data and we can extract the fields.
Exactly. So not only in Splunk, in general, if you want to convert unstructured data into structured data, only way is to extract fields, extract useful information, put it in a field. That is the first. Even if you go ELK or wherever other tools, open search, any tool, first thing is converting unstructured data to structured data is a field extraction. So as a Splunk developer, you need to know how to extract fields from unstructured data. First step. Okay. So like that, there are many steps. Okay. So now you think you got the idea, right? So this is a starting point. So there are like complete task, complete flow. If you take any data, starting from field extraction till you go to the dashboard, there are many steps. Let's go and understand every step, right? So in this process, converting raw data into knowledge, in this process, you have different stages. First stage is data interpretation. People like this concept is not only for Splunk, any data, big data tool, any tool, it follows this process. Okay. So that's why I'm introducing everything at the beginning. Then for Splunk, I'll just apply this concept to Splunk. That's it. That time you will be able to relate. Okay. So any tool, when it is trying to convert raw data into knowledge, see, what I'm saying as a knowledge, what is knowledge? See, knowledge is the outcome. Like based on your raw data, you're getting some decisions, right? Okay, this server is highly used. This is where this in this server attack is happening, and in this machine something goes wrong. You are getting some outcome, right? That is what the knowledge. Okay, raw data is something, everything, it's just raw, it doesn't say anything. But knowledge is an outcome, right? How you are converting the raw data into knowledge, that is what your process. The first process is data interpretation, second one is data normalization, and third one is data enriching, and fourth one is data classification. So these are all the stages in Splunk you are going to do. Can anyone say what is meant by each phase, like data interpretation, normalization, enriching, and classification? Anybody wants to give it a try? Even if it is wrong, that's fine. Uh, you will learn a lot. You can put it in the chat also if you don't want to speak up, because this is what you are going to do in Splunk, the complete pipeline. If you know what each stage is, then it will be very easy for you to relate what you are doing in a day-to-day job. No?
Let me give a try.
Yeah.
The data interpretation, right? It is identifying the fields. So, what are the data that is present, right? We need to identify and we will be converting it as a field. And like the data normalization, it is it's like flattening the data. We can say if there is a multiple values in a single column, then we can flatten it, or we can reduce that duplicates and all. We can eliminate it. And the data enriching, right? We are adding more information to the existing data, so that will provide more value to our output. And the data
Exactly.
classification, we are categorizing the data, so
Exactly.
based on a certain condition we will classify the data.
That's right. That's right. Nice version. So yeah, I mean that is what it is. I know, like we have learned. I have learned this also in fundamentals of so IT. Like yeah, I mean I never remembered it, but when the moment we started relating it with Splunk, how Splunk works, then everything opened up. Just want to give you some idea, right? I mean I know we are talking too much of theoretical, but let me give you how this one relates to the concepts we are going to discuss. So the data interpretation. So this is the first stage you need to know, you need to do. So this one is done by field extraction. My uh, pen is not working. Just give me a minute, team. So let me open a notepad. Okay, good. Nice.
Morgan, we are not able to see your notepad
Okay,
screen.
nice. Thanks for sharing. So, data interpretation, data selection, data normalization means picking what is needed and filter not. Data enriching, making raw data informational, using additional context to it. Data classification, grouping data for. Okay. Yes, Sumit Kumar. That is correct. So whatever you said is correct. Nice. So that's it. I mean, this is what the difference you have to know. But let me add a little bit information to it. Okay. So I'm sharing another screen now. Is my notepad visible? I mean, or not visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, right. Okay, good. So now data interpretation, right? So first stage in Splunk, this is what happens. The first stage, data interpretation, as Varsha said. So this is where we are going to use our field extractions. So first you are going to extract fields. That is what your job, first thing. And data normalization. Data normalization is, as Sumit said, picking what is needed and filter not. Along with that, data normalization is like, for example, if you have a multiple data with a different field names, different values, you are just making everything look normal so that you are normalizing it. So this normalizing is done using field alias and calculated fields. So these are all the things you can observe it in your chat as well, I mean in your syllabus. And data enriching, so data enriching is done by lookups in Splunk. And data classification is done by event types and tags in Splunk. And tags in Splunk. So this is how everything relates. Splunk is also designed such a way that it follows this general process. It does the data interpretation first and data normalization in second, and then data enrichment, and then goes for classification. This is how even Splunk works when you run a search, right? When you are triggering a search, Splunk is also following this order. First, behind the screen, first it extract the fields, and then it goes and checks field alias calculated fields, and then it will apply the lookups, and then it will apply the event types and tags. You might have seen in Splunk documentation that they will say Splunk works like this. Why? Because it is a general concept. It's not only in Splunk, in every tool works like this. Splunk also working like that. This is the order. You cannot do the event types and tags before field extraction. No. I mean, when I say you cannot do it, you can configure it. You can put all the configurations. But Splunk works in this direction. Okay, why am I stressing this now? Because just learning what is field extraction, what is field alias, what is lookups, it doesn't help you. You need to know at which point of time, at which stage, all these things are getting applied. Okay, so the detailed discussion about the interpretation, normalization, enriching, and classification will be conducted from the next session onwards, because it's already 8 o'clock. I want to open a Q&A session, and I want to give you more information about this course. And if someone wants to understand what is this and what all the things, you can now start talking. I'll stop the technical things right now. So the next session, this is where we are going to start. What is data interpretation, normalization, how it works, and everything. We'll go into deep, because that will take another 1 hour. Okay. Any other questions in general? And okay, maybe I'll show you the course portal where you can get, yeah. So this is our course portal. Wait a moment. I logged in.
Morgan, again, you need to switch it.
Okay, nice. Let me share the entire screen. Okay, and just a heads up, and there is another same content we will be conducting in the evening as well, IST evening time. And if you want to join one more time, maybe that time you have content now, you prepare it, and if you have additional question, you can join in the evening time also, and you can attend the same webinar. I'll say the same content over there as well. Okay, nice. So, and this is the portal. In this one we have all the syllabus. So whatever we saw here, like basics, I showed you what is the basics. And yeah, we discussed what is the role of a Splunk developer in a project. And this one we haven't discussed, that is something a little bit far. And basic housekeeping, so you need to know. So as you already started learning Splunk, you will know how to install Splunk. It's the basic thing. And if you want to know, we can send you the video that is there for free. And how to install Splunk, how to start, stop, restart, and how to run a basic search in Splunk. Just open the reporting and type some basic search. How to create a basic dashboard in Splunk. So this is something I want you to explore and learn, because if we teach all those things, we cannot teach the real time, because time is short, right? So we are suggesting you to do this one. And if you don't find the resources, let us know. We will add the content here so that you can watch everything and you can practice everything here. You don't need to go to any other website. So yeah, we discussed like what is the difference between structured data and unstructured data, and the process of converting the raw data into knowledge. And along with that, many people are asking, hey, you are teaching everything, you're okay, and everything, but we need a lab access. It's like, I said, okay, lab means what? And like, we want a Splunk environment where we can practice. I was like, it's very easy. Just create a AWS free tier account and install Splunk and just go ahead. Like it won't take much time. And they had a problem in saying like, no, if we just leave our server to run, it is costing us like a 10,000, 50,000. Like they are just sending us a bill. Okay, then why can't you just stop it? In our busy work schedule, we are forgetting. Okay, I understand. And in GCP also, you can create. In GCP, they are giving, I think, 90 days free trial, I believe, with 20,000 rupees. You can just create one servers and do it. And they still said like, yeah, we can create the servers and we can install Splunk, but the live data, see, we want to practice the queries and on a live data, not on the static or not on the some CSV file, right? We want to practice a like live. Then we understood, okay, people want an environment where they don't worry about the cost, or they know how much cost is going to occur, and they want a live data, right? So that is what the requirement we got. Lab means not just simply server where you go and do something. Lab means it mimics a environment, real-time environment. So how to get that? To be frank, you can set these things on your own. You can create a AWS free tier account or GCP free tier account, where you can create servers and you can install Splunk. There is something called bots v3, or even a data sources, right? You can create some Windows server, Linux server, and you can connect everything, and you can just make everything connected. So you will get the lab environment. But if you feel like it is taking time, hey, I'm here to learn Splunk development, I don't want to learn how to set up lab, how to set up the Splunk infrastructure, do the data onboarding. It feels like I'm learning Splunk admin before coming to Splunk developer. Yeah, I get that, we get that, understand. So we came up with a solution where you can rent a lab servers. So of course you can say, hey, I took your course, give me a lab server. Yeah, yeah, hang on. As if you take this course, we will give you 30 days of lab access, where the live data feed will be coming. Like we have our security data sources. From there, live data will be coming to this lab. So if you want to practice the queries and everything, so you can practice on your lab environment. So how to access the lab environment? Do I have to connect VPN or nothing? You see there is a lab button, right? You just click here lab button and your lab will be opened. So it will be asking you to sign on with a Google, because we applied some security for a lab environment. If you just have a Gmail account, you can click on sign in with Google, and it will ask you the same email ID. Use the same email ID you used in this portal, okay? And once you log in, so let's say you have this content, and your lab environment will open like this. So as you have taken this course, right? Like if you have taken this course, then your lab environment will be popping like this. You will have a standalone distributed lab environment. This is where all the Splunk development concepts we are going to teach. And you will have a quota, and you will have used hours, how many hours left, what is the validity, something like that. And here it says 6 days validity, because this demo one. But you will have a 30 days of lab validity. You can start and stop your servers here. You don't need to provision anything. You just simply go ahead and start all those servers. So it takes time. And if you want to connect to backend also, you have a PEM file here, so you can just download it and you can connect to the backend. So my labs are getting started. Yeah, then once it is started, yeah, you get the backend SSH command and public IP, everything. So you just take the public IP and go ahead and use it. Let's say I'm logging to search it. Okay, this is my search it. I'm taking my public IP and I'm going here. And I mean, it takes a few minutes because just now server started. It takes a few minutes. So this labs servers will be provided to you during this curriculum, because we won't provide you at the first day itself, because we need to learn few things, right? If I give you first day itself, you will the 30 days access will expire. So it's a 60 days course. In the middle, we will give you the lab access, where you have at which point you have a knowledge. The once you get the knowledge, you can start applying them. So you can keep your lab environment like this, or like if you want to connect to the backend, right? Front end is taking time. It takes a few minutes because server need to start and Splunk need to start, right? Yeah, Splunk is started now. So you just log in. The login username password will be admin and admin123, because it's like your servers. We are setting it default, and if you want, you can change it. So the lab will open. Yeah, you see search it, and here we have all the add-ons installed, like whatever the Splunk add-on for Azure and everything is installed. You can just start searching the data, and so you can start applying things. So that there will be a live data feed coming in. I mean, now I did not enable the live data feed because it's just a demo. But we will enable the live data feed where you can just start querying it. My keyboard is playing with me now. And let's go to start. First source. Yeah, so you can start querying it, and yeah, so we have so much of data. So it's coming from even bots v3 data also we have it. So it's a security data where you can apply it, and we have some live data feeds. So these are all the sources where we are getting the data. Yeah, of course, yeah. And if you want to connect to the backend of your lab environment, again, so open the same window, download this PEM file. Like you can download, because and many people said, like, when we are creating a lab environment, we are getting PEM file and we are losing it. We are losing access to our lab environment. Don't worry, this PEM file will be there for like till this 30 days. Even if you lose it, you don't worry. And once you can copy this particular SSH command to log into backend, copy this and open your command prompt. Just command prompt and go to downloads folder. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you just connect to the backend. So no other setup is needed. So you just, with a one click, you get your lab environment access, and you have the ability to start and stop. Like you have the in the 30 days valid time, and if you want to start, and you can directly start here, and if you want to stop, you can stop here. So how many hours of balance it is remaining, everything will be, and when is the lab start date and lab end date, everything will be tracked here. So you give a visibility on how much time your lab environment will be available for you, right? And after that, if it is completed, like after this course, like let's say our 30 days lab access expired, and if you want to purchase additional labs, there is a provision as well. We will tell you. I mean, I don't want to say it right now because it will become marketing. I mean, I don't want to say that, but there is a provision, like after this course also, if you want to have additional lab environments, let us know. We will guide you where you can go and take the lab environments, right? And this is our course portal, where like you can see each and every day content, like it is segregated, and this is where we upload all the videos as well. I mean, currently you see for this topic there is no content, because that is what today we are taking it. Tomorrow this video will be there here. So on day wise, so topic wise content will be there one by one, everything. So it is a combination of videos and test. In between we give you test also, so that you can practice the test and you can test your knowledge, how much ever you learn. So this document is not a static one. We keep on updating the document. So this is a live portal, and once you purchase this course as a lifetime live session, there is no limitation. You can join any number of live sessions, morning and evening. It will happening like it has. This session happens on Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I mean, today is like yesterday we rescheduled, that's why it happens today. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, this session happens morning and evening. You can join any slot based on your convenience. In both the slots, we are going to teach the same thing. Okay. And if you have some issues or concerns, you don't need to go for a different portal or where. You can just open this discussion forum here. Like each topic has a discussion forum. If you have an issue with a particular topic, right, you can just open the discussion forum and you can just enter your issues. Our team is continuously monitoring this chat, and many people also are observing this one, and they can just answer your thing. So you can post the topic relevant questions here, so that if someone else is also facing the issue, you can collaborate. If you put everything in a WhatsApp, right, you don't know like when your answers are getting when your questions are getting answered. But here for each topic we have given a discussion forum where you can do it. I don't know, today it's not opening. I kept it open for so long, so it's not opening. Yeah. So this is about the portal and everything. So anybody has any questions? So I said the lab, and if you have any support, like we have this WhatsApp, you can just message us directly if you have any questions or something. So this WhatsApp is connected to our team, so you will just get the direct DM. And for technical related things, you can post it here first, then we'll address it here. Because technical things, if you ping everything in a direct message, it will be hard for us to keep a track. And there is a separate WhatsApp group, private WhatsApp group as well, and where only the learners who registered for this course will be there. So you can post your queries over there as well. But we suggest you keeping your queries here. If not, put it in WhatsApp, where we will be directly moderating you. So this is it about the course and the content what I had. Any questions or anybody wants any feedback or anything is? Yes, no. In the chat also you can put a thumbs up. Simple, that is enough. Just show you.
Yeah, fine, fine, my side.
How. Question. Any other questions related to course understanding, or was it clear, or was there any confusion? No? Neutral? Okay, I can understand. No problem. And thanks a lot for your time. And yeah, I know it's early morning for most of you people. You joined here and listen. And please let us know. And if someone else is also looking for it, it's you can suggest them this course. Show them this video. This video will be uploaded to YouTube as well, because it's a first demo session, right? And we'll be sharing you the link. And if you want to go through once again, you can go through. In this portal also, you will have this first video. You can watch it again, or if you want, you can join in the evening batch also, as a few more doubts over there. And once you get clarified, let us know. We can help you to take it proceed. Okay. Okay, thanks everyone, and let me stop the recording.